Good morning, everybody. I'm Colette the Highway Stitcher, here to give you my stitching from the highway and at home. It is a beautiful day today, 82 degrees Fahrenheit, 27 degrees Celsius. We are celebrating here in the United States Memorial Day, the day to honor our servicemen who died in the line of duty. It couldn't be a more beautiful day here in the Northern Hemisphere. And for those who do celebrate, and though for those who have lost someone in the service of our country, I greatly appreciate your loved one's service to us. And I'm just amazed by how busy my days have been. Just how things just don't seem to end and just keep going and going and going. This last week has been very full with graduation, baccalaureate, actual graduation party for my dear grandson Zachary Abbott, who graduated here on Saturday, this last Saturday, May 24th, I believe. Oh, and today is May 26th, everybody, which I did not mention. We are so proud of him. He's our third grandchild and the first that we could actually go to for a graduation. And the reason being is, golly, I'm trying to remember. Our oldest two grandchildren graduated during COVID, and there were no graduations held, and they just moved on. So I didn't think much about it at the time, but how much I missed the whole pomp and circumstance, I guess. At first I thought, oh, it's no big deal, but it really was very special and very touching, and it almost seemed like my first grandchild. So I was just having a wonderful, marvelous time. And interspersed in between that, my youngest granddaughter, uh, she was in a play, and she was in a major part in a play. It was a community theater play, and they did Into the Woods. So any of you who have been to the play Into the Woods, you know that story. And she was the witch in the story and in the play. So she did a really, really marvelous job. We got her a beautiful orchid lei to wear after she was done. And I also made up a money lei for my grandson Zachary and gave that to him, a money and candy lei that I made up for him for his graduation. So busy, busy times. I'm glad you're just sitting here listening to all my rambling about personal things, which I normally don't do during my videos, but just I love my grandkids. They are very special to me, and I'm grateful to have them. So, with a little bit of sunburn on my face, I tried to cover it up. That was from the graduation party yesterday, and just a marvelous, marvelous week. So anyway, now after a month's worth of not videoing, thinking I would, but just being wrapped up in all the busyness for the month of May, well, I'll be moving on to all the craziness in summertime and trying to fit in videos if I can. So with that on my mind, I feel like I need to let you know that they will be very sporadic probably during the summer, but I will try to fit them in. Even if there is very little stitching involved, I'll try to just do a fast video and just let you know the little bit that I got done. Just to let you know, this t-shirt I have, yes, I do need all that cross-stitch stuff. I had been wearing this shirt and I thought, oh, well, it's appropriate. I don't need to take it off and put on something else. So it's very appropriate for us stitchers and the things we love. And just if you want to know, this is actually a t-shirt from Jen of What Are You Doing Studio. And she has her own website now. So if you just type in What Are You Doing Studio, she does some lovely, lovely t-shirts. And I guess I'm doing a shout out for Jen, but She's a sweetheart, love her, and her t-shirts are really fun for cross stitchers. So if you feel so inclined, go over there and take a look. Okay, now after 5 minutes worth of letting you know about my personal items and things that happened, I'm going to move on to cross stitch with a little bit before telling you again how thankful I am that you've joined me, that you've been here. Some of you from the very first, thank you so much. And also for those of you who are joining me for the first time, I will try to what's the word? Update you on how I'm doing things this year as a stitcher and what I'm trying to accomplish. So I don't have these in any order again, but here's my whips and what I worked on during the month of May. I also have my book of days to keep me posted in case I forget something or have to look something up. So, and the very first stitch that's on the top, because it's still inside the Q-snap, it ended up getting thrown on the top because it's a little easier to pull up and it doesn't, you know, the others are lying flat underneath it. So that's why it's here, is this lovely whip that I've been working on for many years. Not heaven and earth full coverage, but it's an artisty full coverage. So it's relatively good size. Not a hugie, but it's been a work of progress for me anyway. And this is a lace maker. The artwork is by Miles Burkett Foster. Artisy is the converter of the actual picture into cross stitch. I love this piece. It's very confetti heavy. Sometimes it drives me crazy, but it still doesn't mean that I'm not so very excited about it and the work that I do on it, or I try to work on it every month and how much I get accomplished. This month I was pretty happy. According to my book of days, I got in 1,154 stitches. I have 20,000 stitches left exactly to finish this up, and I'm at 73.40%. And here she is. If any of you guys are always keeping lookout for this, you'll probably know what I accomplished from last month. I have been just going crazy this month. I don't have any before pictures. Apologize for that. Again, I will try to get back on and do better. But for now, you will just have to see, and I'll have to point out to you what did actually get accomplished. This is a 25 count Lugana. I'm just gridding it myself, and I usually do 1/1 full cross is my go-to. And this month, from last month, you probably will notice some if you're a regular viewer. I filled in a lot of this black around this. And again, I will show you the picture again. I am not quite positive what some of these are. I believe this is a piece of wood that is lying against the cottage. But I filled in a lot of the black stitches around there, so that is kind of popping out right now. I also did some typewriter filling in, which there were a few there were a few just little empty spaces along here of like confetti stitches that I filled in and filled down a little bit. So a lot of that blue is done. For quite a bit of them, I would say I did several hundred in this light cream. There were 2 or 3 different colors in there. Because sometimes my hands get a little tired. Even with very fine needles, pulling it through the already confetti heavy stuff will hurt my hands at times. So I moved down to areas that don't have quite as much, like filled in around them and work on that. So I was able to kind of zip through a lot of this. I filled in all the rest of this, worked my way down there to the kitty, and also filled in some of this around here. So that was my 1,154 stitches on that. Again, I'm going to try to hold this up at the same time, and you can kind of see the areas that I did. So right there is that little block of wood with the dark with the black around it. As you can see, this is kind of a walkway, pathway, so that's all the light cream I was working on. Filled in some more of that right there. This is a cat dish, I believe, over here, or a dish of some kind. And if you look at my piece here, it's not finished around that. You can see the circle. So that was what was accomplished on Lace Maker. Lace Maker was also a Maynia start years ago. I worked on my Maynia pieces this month, as well as my Wasting Away whips. Just a fast overview on what my Wasting Away whips are, or my was, is I have 100 whips, and generally I have not been able to touch each one of them every year. So this year I decided to do kind of an old-fashioned, instead of a wheel, you know, one of those wheels online, I decided to put all my whips and write them down and put them in a bowl. And then I pick for a month to work on, at least 3 days for each one of them, to get a significant amount. That way when I do my whip parade around my birthday, I will be able to show quite a bit of progress on quite a few whips. So that's what my was are, my Wasting Away whips. So I had 4 of those for this month, as well as I believe six Maynia, Stitch Maynia, original Stitch Maynia pieces that I explained about last April, if you want to go back to my video there about Stitch Maynia. And I worked on those also this month. So it was pretty good. I got significant work done on both the Stitch Maynia pieces and the Wah whips. So that's what that was all about. And I brought that up because this piece here is not only an old Stitch Maynia piece from 2017, 2018. No, I'm very sorry. 2019 actually is when I started this on Stitch Maynia on May 14th. It also was one that I'm working on all this year as a focus on a finish, and we shall see, because I let it go mostly because I was having a lot of problems with my hands, and I'm still not totally better. Wonderful. As a stitcher, as you age, things go. As you age, everything goes, as you know. So it's a little hard sometimes to do continuous work on my full coverages, but I do my best, and I'm still happy with the amount I got done on Lace Maker this month, especially with it being a focus on a finish for me, and also being an old Stitch Maynia piece. So that's my first whip here on the top. I will put this down carefully so nothing will happen to it. Okay, my next piece was a Stitch Maynia piece from also 2019. I did not get any significant amount of stitching done on this one. It was one of the few that I know was probably a grandchild event day, and I had no more days to pull for it because I was trying to concentrate on other projects. So Poor One Nation by Bygone Stitches, cut very little. I am going to show you, because I always do for every whip I do work on, but it only got 137 stitches on this poor girl. But it's not a concentration piece to me. It's a Stitch Maynia that I hope to concentrate more on when I have finished my other Stitch Maynias. And I'm happy with that. So this one, I mostly did outline stitching on it. If you look down below there, all of those blue, diagonals were all filled in. So basically, I didn't work with any other color except for blue, which in this case, I am using 3 Gentle Art colors on mine, a little differently than most of the other people that are doing One Nation. Because the called for fabric for most people I don't have it here, but I believe it was like a more browner or light brown type of a samplerish looking fabric. But in my case, I opted for something that I want. That I like grays. I like colors like this. So I opted to work on this, and so because of that, I had to kind of change my colors a little bit from what were the called for. And so I have 3 colors that are in this. There, 2 are Gentle Arts and 1's Classic Colorworks. So the only one that I actually worked with this month was the Gentle Arts Midnight. But I'm also using Gentle Arts Chalk for the white, which you can see there, with the states all in their flowers. And then also when I get to the states, I will be using Classic Colorworks Cupid for them. And this is a fabric flare fabric where it's printed on the front, and as you can see, just plain on the back. It's a mottled gray, and unfortunately I did not write down the name. It actually says fabric flare on the edge of this fabric, but the name had been cut out, I believe, and so I don't have it. Of course, I could probably take it up to Cindy Sorley at Stitchery Express, who has all the fabric flare, and she's local to me. I mean, it does take an hour to get there. And she'd probably take one look at it, knowing Cindy, and would go, oh, that's blah, 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 blah. So I probably should take it up with me, because then I would know finally what it is. So that was one of my Maynia starts from years ago that I worked on this month for its piddly amount of stitches. But every stitch counts, as we all know. Okay, this other one here is also an old Stitch Maynia, and I did get a significant amount of stitches on this one. I don't think I added them up, but I can look here. Let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, yeah, I got over 1,000 stitches on this one. So Brenda, you'll be happy. Long Dog Samplers, count your blessings. Over 1,000 stitches on this beauty. This is a really old Long Dog sampler, and it's one I started. I think I started this one in my very first Stitch Maynia, which was 2017. I'm stitching this one on 28 count, 2/2, antique white as white art fabric. Now, the threads are like lots of overdyed threads, and that is getting a little worrisome because, and I'll explain why actually, this one and another old Stitch Maynia piece from 2017. As you mostly know, most of you who have been stitchers for a while, if you're doing 1/1 with an overdyed, you're not using as much thread. Back then I was doing a lot of 2/2. This is 28 count. It looks very vibrant and pretty, as you can see. But I am running out of the threads, and when I ordered them, some of them are not matching up the best. So we will be kind of being like careful, very careful with this thread, so I can get through it to this with this particular piece as well as the next one I'm showing you. And they will be focuses this coming year, because I feel a little desperate now that they need to get finished, being that I know that some of the colors overdyeds did change a little bit during COVID, and I was not thinking clearly, and forgetting how much 2 strands gets eaten up as opposed to 1 strand. So we will hope that things work out fine. But be that as it may, this is overdyeds. This is an antique white Zweigart, 28 count. And what I accomplished this time with the 1,000 is Starting from that house down, I got this whole, I guess you would call it, I don't know, like a V shape with that fun looking stag. I call it a stag. That's what I would think. As well as his little brother, maybe possibly there. I also filled him in. All of this and partial part of that flower. So, quite excited. No way am I to halfway yet, but this is a lot more significant progress on this than I've done in the past. A beautiful piece. It was fun. So much fun to work on it again. So I'm going to focus on this coming year, and along with everything else I'm focusing on. But even if I end up focusing on it more next year after pulling my wasting away whips and getting as many of them done as possible, I do want to focus on this coming year, mostly because of the concern about the threads and also because it needs to be finished. It's a very, very languishing project. So anyway, that the interesting thing about this piece was it was actually called, not only is it a Maynia piece, but when I pulled it out of my bowl, I pulled it out of my bowl actually too, which was kind of fun because then I knew it would be worked on its birthday for Maynia, which is how I do my Maynia. I work on the pieces that are still in Maynia for me on their birthday. And then I was able to work on it for a wasting away whip too. So that was a plus for this. I think, this is a good way to get a lot of stitching done on it. Okay, this next piece is just a Maynia piece. So I do work on it every year, but again, like I said, because of the fact of the issue with the threads and the fact that it's a 2/2, I want to work on this quite a bit next year. This is Heartstring Samplery's Prairie Life Sampler. Another piece that I started long time ago in 2017. Its birthday is May 2nd, and that's when I worked on it, as well as I worked on it a couple other days, I know, during the month of May. Stitching this on a 28 count linen also. It's called Fairy Dust, 2/2. Here's how she's looking now. And what I did stitch on was I filled the border down 2 more flowers on each side and filled in all the stitching for that quote. So, it's not all the stitching that is done for that quote. There is actually 2 more lines, but I did do that. And that part says, "The real things haven't changed. It is still best to be honest and truthful." Boy, all those trees took a long time to do, but now that they're done, it's just kind of fun working on all the rest of this. This is just an absolute joy to work on. So, again, probably about halfway. From the looks of this now, I think so, because I've done, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 flowers down the side, and I believe that there's 4 more. No, there's 3 more, but it's still probably about halfway. So this is going to be another focus to get done and show off to you after years of non-work on it. Okay, let's see what the next one is. This is a wasting away whip that I'm going to show you next. This one was started way back, probably the same time as my earliest Maynia pieces. It is a white willow piece called Tribal Rooster. I think this is Tribal Rooster. Yeah, this is Tribal Rooster. I finished Tribal Hen already. It's one of those cute motify ones, and I, of course, did it all in one color. And the color I used was Gentle Arts Midnight, the same I'm using for One Nation for the blue. What else can I tell you about this? Again, a very old piece. It is on 28 count. Picture This Plus Nocturne. Actually, I picked up the wrong one. This isn't Rooster that I'm working on. This looks like it's the hen I'm working on. So, yeah. Well, okay. So this is the hen actually I'm working on. This is Picture This Plus Nocturne. And 28 count. And I'm doing 2/2 with Gentle Arts Midnight. It's so fun. That chickie is so pretty. It's really kind of a cool image with all those motifs kind of making up that chicken. This pattern is like from 2010. It was designed in 2010, so it's an old pattern. So let me see if there's anything else I can tell you about it. Nope, that's it. Just it's a wasting whip I'm got a chance to work on. Oh, and I also need to tell you probably how much I got done, or almost how much I got done. Oh wow, I got about 1,100 plus stitches on this one. So quite a bit was done ahead of time. And I know that I started working down the tail here. So all of this area here I worked on. So another wah bit the dust. Yay! Okay, my next one is also Wasting Away Whip that was chosen. This is Haunted by Luminous Fiber Arts Misty Purcell. And I am working on this one on a 32 count. Vintage Stormy Night, one of Zweigart's fabrics where it is printed on the one side like fabric flare and not on the other. Huh, that doesn't look too bad on the back. Huh, what do you know? My back looks pretty good. Anyway, that is the front. I'm working on this 1/1 full cross on 32 and using one thread, and this has just really been fun. Lots and lots of fun. I'm more than halfway done on this one now, so I'm hoping to continue on this one and Tribal Chicken. I'll mention that in my plans though, what my plans are going to be. So okay, this next one is a Maynia piece from May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. This is really old. I have no idea if this chart even exists anymore or this Etsy seller even exists. It's called Crazy to Stitch, In This House. Now, this piece, along with another piece I was working on for Maynia, were ones that I was really losing quite a bit of interest in. The last year or two I worked on them, I really did not want to work on them. So I mentioned that on my last video, and I was very excited to get some good ideas from friends, both as commenters, which I'm grateful to you for your comments and thoughts and ideas, as well as some friends of mine on a video meetup that I do every week. Both of them gave me ideas. Since these, I'm just really feeling I was really feeling very much like I'm done. I just don't want to work on them anymore. I'm not interested in them anymore. So in the case of this one, I had finished and was so bored. I had finished the In This House We Use. So the comment was made to me, why don't you just finish the rest of the sentence? In this house we use the force. Frame it as a long piece. This is supposed to be a gift for my son-in-law, who is very much a Star Wars fan. My oldest grandson from their family is named Luke. My daughter gave in and said that was fine. He is really definitely a Star Wars fan. Though his sister is not Leia. His sister is Sophie. So Julie put her foot down on that one. But anyway, I did finish this one, and I opted to do this. And thank you so, so very much. Thank you, Leon Noel, for the idea. As well as I know there was another commenter who also said that, and I want to thank you too. I was able to finish up the rest of this block lettering, and I plan on framing this, getting this framed. I hate to frame myself. So I will get it laced and framed by my local Hobby Lobby, actually, because the two people who work in the framing department know how to lace. And so if I find a frame that's on sale, I actually get by very well money-wise, especially for gifts for friends and family. So I'm excited. This is now done. I'm not working on the rest of the block letters that were making me feel like I am done, so done with these block letters. So I am so happy with that. So that is a finish. In This House is now off of my Stitch Maynia chart as a finish. Now the other one that is also off my chart as a finish is another one that I thought was beautiful, but I was just burning out on it. And I knew that I was never going to get to the middle part, which I enjoyed. I wasn't even going to get the border darn finished. That's how much I was just getting to the point that I just had no more interest in it. And that's sometimes how that happens, you know, with stitching pieces. And if it does, you know, you've got the right to just put it aside. Just be done with it. In my case, I'm really lucky. I was able to finish up a little bit of it, and with the piece I just showed you, and also this piece coming up, where they will be finishes, and that's a good plus. It's made me feel a whole lot better. But even if you aren't to a part where you can do that, you need to be happy doing your stitching. And I was not happy working on either one of these pieces, so I knew it was time to let them go. Anyway, this was my other Stitch Maynia piece from, let me see, what year was this? I mean, what year this is like way back 2017. And the date I did it was May 17th. And this is one of the oldest or older Hands Across the Sea samplers, Eliza Vale Cox. I admit all the changes of colors make this piece absolutely gorgeous, but they also were just driving me crazy. And I was just not enjoying the process. And that's not sure exactly why, because I do love full coverage and changing out full coverage, but this one I was just not enjoying. And each year that went by, I enjoyed it less. So I appreciate my friends on my video, Monday get-together videos that we do, in giving me this suggestion. Thank you so very much, Melanie, if you're watching, especially for this. She asked me how much I had done of that top border, because I mentioned to my friends that's all I had accomplished was some of the top border. And then she asked me how many inches long it was. And then she told me, Colette, why don't you finish it into a bigger needle book? My eyes just lighted up when she said that. I said, okay. I said, all I'm going to do then is finish the leaf work and color around this main flower. I am going to cut the fabric. I still have almost a half yard's worth of this beautiful fabric, which is Lakeside linen. So I'm not wasting anything. I can pick up and work on another sampler, 36 count. And I can still finish this. And this will be finished into a needle book. And this will be the front of my needle book. And that'll be the back. So it was quite a sigh of relief for me. And happiness that I could make it into something and then be finished. So that is my other Maynia piece. That is a finish that I'm so excited about. Okay, my last, let me see if this is my last. Yeah, this is my last Wasting Away with choice from last, when I pulled them out of the bowl last month. This is actually, this was a retreat. This was an online retreat during COVID. 2000, I believe it was 2000. Yeah, 20, no, it was 2020, I think. Yeah, it was 2020. This was an Acorns and Thread virtual retreat that I signed up for. And it was all done online. It was one of the first ones, way back then where they were starting to do the virtual retreats online. Heartstring Samplery, Beth Twist, joined up with Paulette Stewart of, oh shoot. Thank you very much, Colette. And you're all yelling at me, telling me who Paulette is. And I forgot. Anyway, they joined up together. And they decided that they wanted to change the theme from Gather Together to Until We Meet Again in person. And that's what Beth Twist mentioned. She said we may be forced to stay apart for a time until next we meet, but I want to give you the flowers from my garden, delightful fluttering wings of butterfly and moth and song. So she said that we've all had to give up wishes and dreams and getaways. But she said, may your dreams come true until we meet again. Now, when I did this virtual retreat, I did start it. And that is all I did for way back in 2020. When I picked this out of the bowl this month, I really kind of thought this was going to be one I would maybe set aside, that it would be stopped, that I wouldn't continue working on it. And I think mostly it was because I really didn't care too much for it. I only had that little white yellow flower done there. That was it. And so I picked it up and thought, well, let's see how much I can work on it for my 3 days. Get my 1,000 stitches or plus in it and see how it goes. And as I kept working on it and doing more flowers, I fell in love with it all over again. This is on a 32 count graham cracker fabrics in the colorway of tea set. We're using Weeks dye work threads on it. I have just fallen in love with it again. I love those flowers. Beth names all the flowers and all about them in her the rest of this pattern, which I love. The only thing that I don't like about this pattern, and I think I'm just going to leave it off, is I don't care for this border surrounding it. I just love the flowers, the basket, the quote, and the butterflies. So I think when I do this, that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to leave the border off. And I will put down my initials in 2020 for when it was started during COVID. So, fell in love with a piece all over again. And so far, practically every single piece that I've pulled out of my wasting away whips, that's happened. So that is a virtual retreat stitch, wasting away whip. Okay, before we go on, and before I lose my voice totally, some water is in order here. Okay, I've got one more here I almost forgot about. Better not forget about this. This is a sal we do every year at Stitch West in October. We call it the Oct to Oct sal, hashtag Oct to Oct. And in this case, we also have a hashtag Matter in Hand, because that's the name of this Jeanette Douglas piece. And I almost forgot here to show it to you. I'm so wrapped up in my goals this year of the other stitching that I'm doing. But this one is continuing on. I did my May section. I'm going to also work on it today, work on into the June section, and get some stitching done on it. So this I'm stitching on 40 count, 1/1, full cross. It is on a color and cotton pampas grass. And the May section was that star, those couple little motifs, the border, and those pair of scissors, or that pair of scissors. So It's been a fun piece to work on. The only thing I don't like about it is I'm not a big fan of the, and this is just me. Other people love them, so it's just what would I call it? It's just Highway Stitchers quirkiness. I don't care for the lettering. You know, sometimes I'm great with the lettering like that, and I'm fine. And other times, nah, I don't like it. So in this case, it's not, I don't like it. So after I get the whole thing done, I may end up doing some kind of little wavy border in there. Or I might just leave it. I haven't decided yet. So that's why none of the lettering is in there. So just the actual stitching of those motifs. So that was my last whip. Okay. Now I'm going to go on to 2 acquisitions that I do have to mention here. I don't do a whole lot of showing off all the stuff I get at different events and things. A lot of it is just tiredness. That's sad to say, but sometimes I'll lay it out on a table and then I show it. Other times I just go, it's just too much. It's hard enough for me to just keep up with the videos. But in these two cases, I really would like to show these off. The first one is I had a visit from a good friend down in California. She's a floss tuber, Stacy, 911 stitcher. She wanted to come up and meet up with me and Brenda, Handwork Maniac, and so we chose an area to meet up and we had lunch together. I feel so touched and so grateful to her. I just want to tell her thank you. She made this project bag for me, as well as another one that she's going to send to me because she said she needs to redo something on the other one. And then she also gave Brenda a couple too. So that's just, thank you so very much, Stacy. Thank you. I chose this one because if you know me and know my other passion, it's lace. And there's lace in here in some of these quilted sections, lace pieces. So that was a must for me. I just had to have that. But another interesting thing about it too is I just noticed this later after I got home. This says Southgate High School. Now, I'm not sure if that's the Southgate that was near me when I was growing up or not, but I thought that was kind of an ooh moment because my aunt and uncle lived in Southgate in Southern California. And so could be just another Southgate somewhere. I'm sure that there's a lot of cities named Southgate, but it was still kind of an ooh moment anyway, that with the lace. So thank you so much, Stacy. Then the other acquisition, you know how they talk about save the stitches and stuff. I have a good friend in a stitching group that I go to in this area that she stitched a Mirabilia. I'm not going to name names, and because I did not talk to her, and also this is kind of a sad, touching moment on this particular piece. So I would prefer to keep this more private. But I decided I wanted to save her piece. She generally works on beautiful, gorgeous samplers, a lot of times Hands Across the Sea or others. And she does them on very fine count and everything else. But she, several years ago, decided to work on a Mirabilia for her daughter because her daughter loved Mirabilia patterns. And when she just finished up this stitch, she had just finished it, her daughter died suddenly. And she just put it away. She couldn't look at it, couldn't do anything with it for years. This was like about 5 years ago. And I believe it was last month or the month before, she came to our stitching group and mentioned, she says, I can't keep this piece. It just has too many memories that are hard memories, she said. But I put it away because I was really afraid that I would just toss it out. And so she said, I didn't want to do that after all the work I did. So now she says I'm bringing it, and I just have to give it away, and I wonder if anybody wants it. And I adore this person. She's a very good friend. I told her, I said I'd be very honored to take this piece and to help me to remember you and all the work you did in it for your daughter. I have not actually looked to see what the name of this is. You Mira fans will know, probably automatic, and that's one thing I did not do before I started my video this morning. But here's this piece that she did for her daughter. Absolutely amazing. Amazing stitching and beading. I knew, this is a save the stitch that means something personal to me, and how I would feel if I lost a daughter suddenly. And so I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to keep this piece to remind me of my friend. So anyway, that is something else that I wanted to show to all of you. Okay. First of all, before I do my plans, I have to show you what I picked out of the bowl for my new Wasting Away whips, guys, and show you what they are. So in no particular order, because I don't know what order I picked them out in, but I do have them back here. I pulled out Valentine Gnomes a few months after Valentine's Day, but that's perfectly fine. Valentine Gnomes is an Autumn Lane Stitchery piece from the Just Cross Stitch magazine, February 2021, and this is what it looks like. I just copied off a black and white picture off the magazine. I thought it was the cutest thing in the world, those gnomes with the words love. So I'm actually working on this on the called for color. And I only worked and finished totally with all the back stitching one gnome, and the gnome was the bee gnome. Here's a little bee gnome person. Cute little guy. This is stitched on the called for. It's a 28 count earthen. This is actually linen though. It's not Lugana. They had suggested Lugana. And I'm also using the DMC floss on it. So I work on this one for a few days. See how much more I can do on it. See how much faster it goes. It was one I started way back like 2021. I am a faster stitcher now than I was in the past, though back stitching does take a little while still. So we'll see what else I can do on that one, on those cute guys. Since I did V, I'm not sure. I don't know if I'll go over to L, O, E. If you guys have any suggestions, you can tell me which one I should work on next. They're all so cute. I may be leaning actually towards that little guy at the end with the E, only because of like the dots on his little cap and his beard. But I'll take suggestions, and maybe I'll end up, if you want to do a suggestion or a comment below, maybe I'll count them and see which one wins. So that's one of the Wasting Away whips that got called. Next one that got called is The Embroideress by Joan Elliott. So it's one of my ladies. Two of my ladies got called this month, which is fun. The Embroideress is a piece I love. I always hate to put this piece away, and I know this is going to be no exception, because even though it's wasted away, it has not wasted away like a lot of my other pieces. I just love this one every time I pull it out. I want to work on it again. Here she is. Beautiful, beautiful Joan Elliott piece where this lady is working on her embroidery. This is being stitched on a 32 count 2/2 silk weaver fabric that's called Lavender Mist, and I'm using the called for DMC. And here's what I've done. As you can see the metallics that are in there, the beautiful other colors. This does not have, well, this may have beads in it down on her dress, but it's metallics up here farther. And I just think this is pretty. It's hard to show you just how pretty this is. This is so much prettier in person than it is just on the camera. The lavender mist is just beautiful, and the colors just work with it so well. I know with this I am going to start working on her hair, her face. That goes in right here. I started at the top, of course, and did all this ornate work. But I'm ready to start working on the hair and the face. I want to get some lady look in there now. So that's my plan. So that's the second Moistina Wave Up that got chosen. The third one is one that's well known by a lot of people. Lady of the Flag got pulled. The only time I ever work on this is sometimes, if I'm lucky, I pull it out on 9/11 or I pull it out on the 4th of July, and it gets a piddly amount of work because usually 9/11 or the 4th of July I am so dang busy. So as you will see on this, there's very little done. So this is a good time to pull it out. 3 days worth of work, hopefully at least 1,000 stitches on it. I'm working on it on a fabric flare, 32 count, with all the called for DMC, and it'll be beads and metallics. And there's the sad amount of stitching I've done. I started in the middle to make sure that I would have enough of the fabric, and also that it would get placed in the right place. So there you see the little bit started, and then I'll show you where that is in this piece, which is just about right around there. So I don't know if I'll have enough time to get up to her face or not, but I'll see what I can do. So Lady of the Flag, another lady, so pulled for this month. And then the fourth piece is a full coverage, which I was happy to pull. I think it's my last full coverage that I have not worked on in a number of years, and so I'm glad it got pulled out of the bowl, which will mean that I'm definitely going to do 1,000 stitches on this, 1,000 plus, and all 17 of my full coverage will have been worked on within the last 2 years. So this is a Christmas piece, a generous gift from my friend Sarah, and she sent me this Donna Gelsinger pattern, Heaven and Earth, called Shepherd's Keeping Watch. You can see it's a lot of block dark stitching up there at the top, but actually I'm fine with that. I'm not in a confetti mood, as I get out of it sometimes when I work on Lace Maker, quite a bit. So this one will actually be a dream to work on. Up there on the top, I'm only about probably a quarter of the way through the top. So my goal, I think, will be to finish that total top row, if I can. If not, I'll just start scattering myself around. There are 3 main colors in this, with just a few little dots of like other color, in there. But a lot of it is 3 main colorways because of the darkness of the sky. And so I will show you here. I'm working on it on a 25 count, my go-to fabric, in kind of a light blue, Lugana. And there's what I did. I did 0.52 the only other time I ever worked on this, gridding it myself. A 1/1 full cross. You can kind of see the dark blue shades in that. So my goal will be to continue working across the top there. This is a 450 wide by 600 high. We'll see what I can do stitching wise to, with my 1,000 plus stitches on this. So I'm happy with that, because within the last 2 years, every single one of my full coverages will have gotten work done on them. It would be great if I could go back and get another 1,000 stitches in the other ones that I worked on last year, but it probably isn't probably too lofty of a goal for that. But we'll see if I can go back and maybe just get a couple hundred in them, because it would be fun to say that I worked on every full coverage this year that I own. I mean, that I have as a whip. So, Okay, now on to my plans. Um, I know what my immediate plans are. Matter in Hand that I showed you, the cell, will be worked on today. Um, just some more work done on to move forward into June. But I will put that away this evening. And tomorrow, my plan is I'm going to be picking up Tribal Chicken, the one I showed you that was my Wasting Away whip for the month of May. That's because I think I can finish that up. I'm working now down towards her feet, and I think that's doable. And I would like to get a finish this month. I've had a finish every month on a piece, and I would be excited if I could get another finish. So I will be working on that till it is finished. And then my other goal before the month ends is I will also pick up another one of my WAs from this month, and that will be Haunted. And I'm going to work on that and see if I can get it finished. Just so I have 2 finishes. My reasoning for that is like I said, to have at least 1 finish a month, but also this month I actually will be having 4 finishes because I finished those 2 Maynias the way I wanted, that I did not want to work on anymore. So actually, if I do finish Tribal Chicken and Haunted, I will have 4 total finishes. But they are full pieces as opposed to the Maynia ones. And the reason why I want them done, if I can, is I want to do 2 new starts. And let me see here. Do I have my new starts with me, or did I leave them somewhere else? Oh, yes, I do have them with me. They're just kind of out of the way a little bit. Okay, these are new starts that I'm joining in late in the bandwagon. But that, again, like I said, I want to get a couple more finishes if I can before I start them. So this was a start that was done by Stitch and Mommy, Sarah, and Dina of Half Stitch Cross Stitch, and there will be, I'm sure there's others too. It's a piece I had in my stash and wanted to start forever, so I will do a late start with them. They have already started it. They've worked on it a month, but that's fine with me. So this is Lavender and Lace, Isabella's Garden. I thought, well, yeah, I've had this. I loved it. I still kept it. So I am going to work on this when I get to the other 2 finished. Kind of intersperse it between my WAs and try to get a significant amount as a start on it if I can. I haven't decided on my fabric yet. I haven't had a chance to go in and do some fabric checking along with my color floss. So I'll have to show that to you my next video. Okay, the other one is also a stitch that was started last month, and it's a birthday stitch from Laura, who has a floss tube called I Stitch Birds, and she loves all kinds of birds. I've had this in my kit whips. I mean, not kit whips, but kit that I own for a long time, and I've always loved this look of the half face with the swallows and just the way her hair is with the feathers and everything. I mean, I understand why Laura loves this. I mean, this is just so absolutely beautiful with the birds and with the hair and the her clothing just looking like feathers. Just absolutely beautiful. So I knew this was a start that I would do, even though it would be a late birthday start for me. And just another plus for this is I actually have an extra one of these. One has a little darker of a front page look, but they are the same pattern. Same floss, everything else. And I'm going to give it away. I didn't say anything about a giveaway at the beginning, so hopefully some of you guys waited till the end and watched it through the end. And again, everything that goes with a giveaway is a given, as everybody knows. be over 18, don't say giveaway. And I think what I'm just going to do for this one, I could say swallows, but I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to say two birds. So if you guys are listening, put the words two birds in your comments. And I will draw a winner. So, and good luck to you guys. Okay. I better go on to what I call my name. Highway Stitcher. Yes, I am taking off in about 2.5 weeks. I'm traveling to Cincinnati, Ohio, and going to StitchCon again. This will be my, let's see, 19. This will be my sixth year at StitchCon, going to StitchCon. This here, Brenda and I will be traveling again, Handwork Maniac, and we are going to StitchCon A. So we are mixing it up a little bit here. We decided that we wanted to try that, and so we will be going to StitchCon A, or Weekend A. And in between that, we will be taking a road trip. Kim, our good friend, is going to take us up to Hobby House. And I am just so excited about that. I saw the video that Brenda, Sampler Stitcher, oh my goodness, Brenda and the Sampler Stitcher did for the Hobby House for their little tour of the inside, and I just got so excited. And also I'm grateful for that too. Thank you guys very much, Brenda and the Serial Starter, for doing that video, because then I could get an idea of what the store has, where things are located, and kind of where I want to go, you know, as I go in, because you could get very overwhelmed the first time you walk into a place like that and decide, well, where do I go next? So I appreciated that video very much, guys. Very excited going there. On our way back, we are going to, I believe she said six more stitching stores on our way home. That's amazing to me, especially when you live in a place that there aren't that many. Of course, we're not as bad as California, which hardly has any, but still, we are not quite as great as some of these places back east that have lots of stores in one state. It's just amazing to me. When we get back, we will stay a few more days, and we will be inside the Hyatt Hotel, and we will be away from the convention center. But when StitchCon B is going on, we will be stitching out in one of the rooms. So we want to let anybody know that we will be there. If you are at StitchCon B and just want to come by and say hi, we will actually be there stitching away. If you decide to take a break and leave the convention center, feel free to come visit us. So we will be at Weekend A for our actual StitchCon, and then Weekend B, we will be sitting out in the hotel stitching. So anybody who wants to come by, meet us, or just come by and say hi again, feel free. We'd love to see you. So those are my plans for the month of June. It's going to be, I'm going to see how well I do keeping up on my wasting away whips for the month of June. These 3 months will be very busy with retreats, very, very busy. And well, in August, things will slow down for a while, but all the way until the middle of August, there will be retreats and the lace convention, which I go to all the time. And so very, very busy. So we'll see how I do on my wasting away whips. And speaking of lace and the lace convention, I hadn't been showing you too much of my lace lately. So I will pause this, get my phone, and I'll show you how I'm doing on my torchon lace sampler, and also show you a class I'll be taking here in Utah next week with one of my favorite teachers, and what I'll be working on. So I will do that now. Okay, for all you lace lovers out there, here is my torchon sampler. Some of the how it's been going, some of the work I've done on it. It's been getting stitched off the off my lace pillow, as you can see. Quite a bit of work done on it. I was actually right about, trying to think, I was probably right about here where all the massive pins are that I haven't pulled out yet, the last time I showed it to you. So that was finished up, which you cannot see too well. But I also finished up this here, which is spiders, and also finished up this, which is called a rose ground Brussels stitch. So the sampler is coming along slowly and steadily. Now next week I will be taking a Milanese class. That's kind of one of my favorite type of laces to work on. Our teacher will be coming out from California, and these are the 4 different patterns that some of the people in our class are taking. We generally have about 12 people in class, and generally a choice of 3 or 4 patterns. I've done most of this teacher's patterns, so I opted I've done the flamingo, the hedgehog, and the moon. The moon is actually her very beginning pattern for beginning Milanese stitchers. So I'm opting to work on the lily here, which is a new pattern that she just designed. So that will be the pattern that I'm working on, all the different stitches in there. I have to decide on my dark threads, my light threads, how I want them to blend. And I'm getting excited. So next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, man, there probably won't be any cross stitching being done. But as you know, with my love of lace, that will be getting done. So that's the lace content for today. Thanks again, guys, for being so interested in it. Appreciate it lots. So, and now I will move back to doing the quote of the day. And actually, you know, I mean the daily gratitude quote. That's what I actually mean. I better turn this phone off before I get something else put on it that I don't want on it. Daily gratitude journal that I do every day. I mean, every video at the end of the video. This is a quote by Roald Dahl. I can never say his name. He's the one that wrote Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Roald Dahl. What a name. Anyway, he has a quote here. And here's the picture with the ferns and the really beautiful moth. So pretty. And his quote says, above all, watch with glittering eyes the whole world around you, because the greatest secrets are always hidden in the most unlikely places. Those who don't believe in magic will never find it. So, love that, love that, love that. So, yes, some of the greatest secrets are hidden in plain sight, guys. There's magic out there. Just magic everywhere in our world. And like I say every week, you can find the beauty in it, you know. It's just absolutely beautiful. So I hope you guys all have a great month of stitching or whatever else you do. And I had something fall, which who knows what, because I have 2 sewing machines over here as well as lots of other junk. So I'm not sure what fell. So I will stop this video and go around there and find out what fell. Anyway, thanks for joining me, all of you. I appreciate it so much again. And we'll see whether I can join you just before I leave for StitchCon, just to give you a little quick update, or whether it won't be until after StitchCon. We shall see. But anyway, hopefully I'll see some of you there. And if not, I'll see you on my coming videos. So everybody take care. Love you lots. And I'll see you in a while. Bye.